Yo, 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 what's going on, people? It's your man Ryan Michael back at you with another recap. This time we're talking about Summer Madness 7. Overall, I think everybody agrees that SM7 was a bit disappointing. There were people who did not perform very well. There were over half of the battles pretty much were not competitive or not entertaining on both sides. And I think that's a big issue. But at the end of the day, URL can't necessarily, they can't create a perfect environment for battlers. At the end of the day, it's up to the MCs to write their rhymes, memorize them, and come ready to perform. However, I do think there are some things URL can change in the future to improve the quality of their events. And I'll talk about that more on the back end of this video. But first, we're going to go battle by battle, starting from beginning of the night to the end. First battle of the night was Geechee versus Shotgun Suge. I predicted Suge to win this battle, and I feel like he could have if he was prepared. He wasn't prepared. It didn't really seem like, he took this battle too serious. Because we really haven't seen Suge choke and stumble all through his rounds in some years. Like, he was known for that early on in his career. And I think he got away from it for a long time, but Saturday it kind of that old demon, reared his ugly head. You know what I'm saying? Earl was in the building, and on top of that, Geechee had the performance of the night. As you know by now, Geechee was awarded his third champion of the night and won like $6,000 or something crazy like that. So shout out to him. I think the first round of this battle was crazy. Geechee had a really good first round, and Suge came back at him with a crazy round. Like, I think Suge got the first pretty clear to me. That was when he said, I am the streets. You should know to look both ways for you cross me. Crazy. That might be my favorite bar of the night. So I gave Suge the first, but after that, it was no competition. You know what I'm saying? Geechee had 3 great rounds, and Suge was stumbling all through the second, and then I think he jerseyed the second, and he definitely jerseyed the third. So, it wasn't much to be debated after the battle was over. So yeah, that first battle, Geechee got it 2-1, second and third round. Next battle of the night was Ill Will versus O-Red. This might be the weirdest battle that I ever seen in my life. If you follow me on Twitter, I kind of was like laughing hysterically through this whole thing because I predicted O-Red to win, but not like this at all. Like, I felt like O-Red would be more lyrical and, have more wordplay and just outbar Ill Will. Ill Will was talking like he wanted to see whose pen was better in that battle, and it's like, that's not how you approach O-Red, bro. Like, unless you're somebody with a crazy pen, you don't approach O-Red that way. I think Ill Will should have relied more on his versatility, more on his well-roundedness. Ill Will's 3 rounds were pretty average. They were pretty inconsistent. Ill Will does the thing where he has these crazy bars in one segment of a round, and then he'll follow it up with something that's like, what are you even talking about? Like, how did you think that was gonna, be a haymaker, or that people would, that would get crowd reaction? You know what I'm saying? I think he might need a better filter, or he might need to run his bars by people, more frequently. I don't know what his process is, obviously, but I just feel like if he had a better filter for his material, that his rounds would be a lot more consistent. But you know, in this battle, he kind of had the layup because O-Red literally lost his voice and he couldn't rap his second round. A lot of people are saying this is the first time that this has ever happened in battle rap. O-Red has lost his voice before in battles. Specifically, I remember Hitman. He lost his voice versus Hitman on UW. And I want to say it was another battle that happened in too. It was just never this bad to the point where, like, he almost couldn't speak. You know what I'm saying? So had to forfeit the second round. Then Ill Will raps the third round. So he basically rapped 2 rounds in a row. And you know, everybody thought that was the end of the battle. They started, Avocado started playing the intermission songs on the pay-per-view, and then it comes back and O-Red's ready to rap, and it's like, yo, if O-Red come back and win this battle after losing his voice, I've seen everything, and that's exactly what happened, man. O-Red, I think, clearly got this one 2-1. I think if you look at battles differently, like maybe you look at battles from an overall perspective and say, yo, how can you say O-Red won when he didn't even rap the second round? How can you say O-Red won when he lost his voice? He can't even scream at somebody for 3 rounds. You know what I'm saying? These are things that I've seen and heard from people in their recaps. So, you know, if that's how you want to view it, then, you know, by all means, but you cannot say that O-Red choked, because he didn't. He literally could not rap. He just lost his voice, and he got it back in time to win this joint 2-1. The next battle of the night was DNA versus New Jersey Twerk. Again, this was another battle where somebody didn't come prepared, and they got, to put it blunt, they got smoked. And New Jersey Twerk, DNA started, and he had a good round. To be transparent, DNA isn't one of my favorite rappers, but he does the thing where he doesn't necessarily have a lot of crazy material, but he's consistently good. So it's like, you know, he's consistently good. He's not gonna mess up. He's not gonna choke. He has moments where he can rebuttal, like he did in the first with the deactivate your voice. Now you O-Red. Fire. You know what I'm saying? That just happened in the battle before, so it got huge crowd reaction. That might have been one of the biggest crowd reactions of the night that I can remember. You know, so it's hard to beat DNA because he's like fundamentally sound. You know what I mean? But New Jersey Twerk came out in the first round, and he had a very heavy first round. Started out, you know, with the bully tactics and all of that, with the, you know, I ain't a PG and you ain't a killer. I think when DNA basically alluded to putting pressure on New Jersey Twerk, I feel like Twerk took offense to that, and he catered material to bully DNA on stage. Like, he was doing it while he wasn't even rapping. You know what I'm saying? He was invading DNA space while DNA was rapping. So I think if anything, that was his biggest objective in this battle, was to bully DNA, which he managed to do a little bit, but you know, you won that battle but end up losing the war. You know what I'm saying? Because your next 2 rounds you was stumbling and getting frustrated by a lack of a crowd reaction to certain bars. And Jersey the third, pretty early, he got like 4 bars out. It was similar to the to Surf's third round at Gnome. So, you know, I predicted Twerk to win, but DNA got this one clearly. I really hope Twerk can bounce back, because we're in a era where battle rap is kind of thirsty for new stars. I think that's why people want to see guys like Geechee and Twerk and Loso and all of these guys, they want to see them battle these big names because people want new stars in battle rap. They tired of recycling the same top tiers versus each other, and this, that, and the third. So battle rap kind of needs New Jersey Twerk to be focused and be motivated by something. Whether that's him buckling down and being 100% prepared for whatever battles he's booked in, whether that's him only booking battles that he cares about. You know what I'm saying? So it's something has to give in that situation. But in this one, DNA clearly got it 2-1, second and third. Mav versus Av. This one I think was the body of the night. Av was just super consistent. I feel like a jinx because in these first 4 battles that happened, the people who I predicted to win, they all choked, except for O-Red, who completely lost his voice. So I apologize to y'all for that. I feel like it's my fault or something, but that's just a crazy coincidence to me. But like I said, I predicted Mav to win because I felt like Av, he's another guy who's consistently good, but Av, he hasn't been scary since like Rum Nitty and like Mike P and O-Red, like when he first was on the rise in the URL. I feel like he hasn't really been scary since then, and I felt like he would have to get back to that level to beat Mav, because I feel like Mav is a guy who relies a lot on momentum, like how his career is going, how his last battles have gone. I think he rides heavily on momentum. When he's doing good, his battles are good, and when he's doing bad, you see it. But this battle, he was stumbling all over the place. Mav being the one who was stumbling all over the place. His material, he had some good material. Like I like the Vegas scheme that he had, I think, to open up the second round. He had some dope lines in there, but he wasn't getting any crowd reaction because he was stumbling the line before, 2 lines before. So you're taking the sting out of your own punch. It's like if you boxing somebody, your power comes from your legs. So if you're not planted before you throw the punch, then it's not going to hit as hard as it could. You know what I mean? So that's in terms of a metaphor for how Mav Hoffa was delivering his rounds. That was the effect that you got. And then it's more frustrating to Mav because he knows that some of the material that he has is dope, but the crowd isn't cheering for him because of how you're delivering it. And then on top of that, like I said, Av was really good this battle. He was consistent, but I think this was his best battle since those earlier days of his career on URL. I think he pretty much swept like all categories. Av, I think if you're gonna perform like this when you don't wear a hat, I think you should never wear a hat again. I don't know, and I'm joking, but I'm being like super serious. Like, it's kind of scary. It's like, Gray Hoodie Lux, or Mook with the do-rag, like Av with no hat, like that could be your thing. You know what I'm saying? But now on a serious note though, Av bodied Mav. Mav may not ever want to battle on Summer Madness again, because he's been killed bad twice by Av and Calico, and then the other one was him hitting Sirius and the event shutting down. So I think Mav might want to stick to like double impacts and other smack events, because he seems to have really bad luck on Summer Madness. Next battle is one that I was super excited to see. Iron versus JC. I knew that this was going to be a competitive battle despite the 3 weeks prep, because These are two guys who are excellent writers. I mentioned in my Iron Solomon versus Chilla Jones recap that I felt like the only person in battle rap whose writing was as seamless and as witty as Iron Solomon was JC. So to see them match up is like a dream matchup for me, and it didn't disappoint at all. This probably was the best back and forth for the night. And to be completely honest with you, I don't have a winner yet because I feel like the rounds deserve to be broken down to an extent beyond what I'm able to do, watching the pay-per-view twice, this is one of the reasons I'm so late with this recap, because I wanted to make sure I watched the pay-per-view twice to try to see if I could decide a winner for this battle. And the only round that I have a clear winner in is the first, and I think Iron got the first pretty clear. JC, he had a lot of material about Iron being Jewish and stuff like that throughout all three rounds, really. And how blacks were the original Jews, and using the Jesus Christ JC name flip that a lot of people use on him, he tied it into the religious angle versus Iron, and I thought that was dope. I think he might have touched on it a bit too much in every round. I think on the replay, like after I watched this battle 4, 5, 6 times, it's gonna get really, really stale to me, I feel like. Just because I've said this previously, I don't like it when battlers use the same angle for the first round, second round, and third round. I feel like if you're gonna talk about something for all 3 rounds, you might as well just pack all of it into one round, but that's just my personal preference, I think. So if I had to edge somebody who I felt won, I probably would say Iron, but I don't want to 100% say that because this battle is definitely debatable, and I could see why. If you said JC won, I could see why. So I'm gonna wait until this comes out on YouTube and record a full breakdown for just this battle, because it fully deserves it. Shout out to the both of them for being the incredible writers that they are. If you haven't rewatched the pay-per-view, rewatch it for this battle alone, because there's a lot of material that it'll go over your head. You won't catch it if you don't rewatch it and pay attention to everything that's going on, especially on Iron Solomon's side. But yeah, so I probably preferred Iron on my 2 watches thus far, but it's definitely debatable. Next battle was my favorite because it was the most entertaining battle, I feel like, of the night, and that's Reed versus Rex. I predicted Reed to win this battle. I felt like we've seen the best from Rex previously, like versus Aver, versus Young Ill. Think about the battles that you really love, T-Rex performances. We've seen a high level Rex. What we haven't seen was a high level Reed since he's been back in the modern era of battle rap. The closest we got to it was like the second round against Chess. But I felt like if there was a battle that could bring the highest level out of Reed Dollaz, it was T-Rex. And I think that's exactly what we got. The first round from T-Rex chose to go first, and he came out and he spazzed, and I think he won the first round. Had crazy momentum, was performing all over the stage, you know what I'm saying? He looked like he really was enjoying and wanted to be battling that day, which I love to see from a guy who's been battling for as long as I've been watching battle rap, going back to the World Series of hip hop, you know what I'm saying? Like, so shout out to him for just for that first round alone. Like, it was crazy to me. Reed's first round was solid, but I didn't think he did enough to eclipse T-Rex first round, so I gave the first to Rex. I've seen people say that Reed won the first round. I don't really agree with that, but you know, Reed's performance overall was so good that I guess like people love doing this 3-0 thing. Like when a battler is getting off, or you know what I'm saying, they love going back and giving them rounds that, you know, they didn't really win for real. But you know, it is what it is. I had Rex in the first round. Second and third round, I don't think it was close. I think Reed came out and spazzed both rounds. I love that Reed, I feel like he wrote up. His first round was really solid, and then his second round was better than that, and his third round was better than his second round. So it's like, I'm not gonna say you can't go wrong, because actually in the next battle, that's something that I'm gonna talk about. But I think he did a great job delivering what people wanted from him. He wasn't trying to be super lyrical and have all the crazy wordplay. You know what I'm saying? He said some stuff that didn't make sense. Like, he said he'll knock a trunk out of engine. You know what I'm saying? And some other stuff that I remember saying, yo, that I don't think that makes no sense, but it's crazy. You know what I'm saying? Because he was performing it like Rambo Reed. He was super aggressive, was intense, had the raspy delivery, he was walking circles around Rex, literally bumping him a little bit, was feeding into the crowd, but he performed so flawlessly. Like, and mind you, he's battling Rex. Rex is literally talking through his entire round. Like the first and the second round, Rex was talking through his entire round, and Reed never stopped to even address it, and I loved it. A lot of people say that battlers who are like more old school or come back and try to rap in the new era, they need to like take notes and catch up to modern day battling. I think this performance from Reed showed that there's actually a lot of notes that battlers in the modern era can take from older, veterans or legends or whatever, like Reed. Because I think if a lot of these guys that were, on the card, on the Summer Madness card prior, earlier on in the night, if they would have just been rapping their rounds and not worried about crowd reaction or what somebody said or anything, I think their performances would have came off a lot cleaner. Maybe they wouldn't have been stumbling. Maybe they wouldn't have choked. Maybe they would have got more crowd reaction that they probably deserved for some of the material that they had. So kudos to Reed for that, because he gave us the Reed dollars that we wanted to see. T-Rex second and third round, it was pretty underwhelming. People say that he spit mixtape bars. I ain't never listened to no T-Rex mixtape, so I couldn't tell you if he spit mixtape bars or not. But I think people say that, to say he's spitting indirect material and it's material that could go to anybody. I think that's basically the point of when people say he was spitting mixtape bars. But regardless, I think this battle was extremely entertaining. It's something that I will be rewatching when it drops on YouTube. I'm probably going to rewatch it more on the pay-per-view, the VOD, just because it's that enjoyable. You know what I'm saying? Like watching Reed do the joint where he says something you get hit with the saw, and he flick his arm. Like it's not lyrical at all. Like this battle is not super lyrical. It's not crazy like angle wise. It's just two dogs going back and forth, man. Just a real old school feel battle. And I think that's what the people who were excited about this battle wanted to see. And that's what they gave us. So salute to them. Reed dollars 2-1. The main event of the night, Hitman Holla versus Tay Rock. I don't really feel like there's too much to say about this battle. Like, it was good, but it's another situation where a battle that we wanted for years and years we anticipated it for so long that it doesn't live up to the hype. You know, I don't think Rock had a bad performance. I don't think Hitman had a bad performance, but it's the battle was like a 3.5, you know, or a 4 out of 5 instead of a 5 out of 5 that we hyped it up to be. I think Hitman got the first and the second pretty clear, and I think Rock got the third clear. You know, I said before that I was going to speak on the I guess crescendo writing, you know, writing your rounds up. Tay Rock did that in this battle, and I understand the approach. I understand where he was trying to go, but I think he started too low. I think he expected hit round. I think he expected Hitman to be the Hitman that has the crazy first round and then 2 like average or subpar rounds after that. And I think expecting that, I think he gave up the first round. Like it seemed like he rapped really short and none of his material was really super hard hitting, and you know, it didn't look like he tried to really win the first round. So I think he let Hitman win the first round by default because he felt like he was going to be better in the second and then better in the third, and that was going to win him the battle. But I think he started so low that his second round wasn't as good as he thought it was, or maybe it didn't come off to us as good as he thought it would be, or, you know, I don't really know. But I think Hitman got the second round pretty clear. So this is now 2 second rounds in a row where it feels like Rock lost, you know, because I think everybody's saying that Goods beat Tay Rock in the second round at known 8. I don't want to say Rock has to go back to the drawing board because, like I said, he wasn't bad, but I think he has to do something to step it up. Like, his performance versus Hollow was crazy. It was crazy, like to the point where people debate Rock beating Hollow, and I don't think that he beat Hollow either, but I'm not mad at it when people say that because his performance was that crazy, you know. I think Rock needs to battle an opponent who brings out the same level of drive or motivation that Hollow brought out of him, you know, because when he gets these matchups that he's been, you know, quote unquote wanting for years, like he battled Surf, he battled Calico, and now he battled Hitman. And to me, I think you could say a lot of people might have him losing all 3 of those battles. You know what I'm saying? So I don't necessarily think that him battling the people who he's been wanting to battle for so many years, it doesn't seem to motivate him as much as Hollow, where it's like, you know, Hollow is somebody who, you know, is like a god tier, like a legend, you know what I'm saying? And I think Rock probably had to sit and figure out, like, yo, how am I gonna beat Hollow? Like, what am I gonna do to beat somebody who is of such a high stature? You know, and I think that's how it seems to me anyway, from the outside looking in. You know, I'm just being an observant person, you know, versus him battling Hitman, where it's like, I just want to battle Hitman. You know, I don't think he really sat and crafted material that was like, this is the person who, this is the final boss. This is, you know, Heihachi, or, you know, whatever, you know what I'm saying? Like, whatever video game you could think of, like fighting game, Tekken, Street Fighter, whatever. You go through the arcade mode and then you get to the final boss, and you don't get there to just, you know what I'm saying, to just lose. Like, I feel like you get to that final person to say, yo, I'm about to wild out now. I've learned all of this stuff along the way, and now I'm about to wild out. And I didn't really get that from Tay Rock in this particular battle. Like I said, I got that more from the Hollow battle, than I did from this one. Also, shout out to Hitman, because I feel like he is, even though he's a superstar, he's on TV and all of that stuff, I think he's finding ways to be better as a battler. I think he recognized that people loved him for coming with those crazy first rounds and the remixes and all of that, but I think he realized that people had him losing battles because his next 2 rounds weren't as good as that one, or they was average, or you know what I'm saying? He didn't have crazy material like he did in the first. So it's almost like you fell off. It's like you knock somebody down in the first round and then you get beat up for the next 2 in the UFC. Chances are you lost that fight. You know what I'm saying? So I think he's realizing that he's coming with more consistent lyricism. He's more clever. Everything he's saying is making sense. He's using angles, like, you know what I'm saying? When I was headlining, you was battling Suge at the bus stop. Like I predicted him saying stuff like that in my predictions, which is why I had Hitman winning, because it's like Rock doesn't have anything to say to Hitman of that caliber, whereas Hitman can talk that all day because he's been getting millions of views for years upon years. You know what I'm saying? So but like I said, even despite that stardom, I think he's still finding ways to get better as a battler. So shout out to Hitman for that. Yeah, I mean, shout out to Hitman for that. I think he won this battle clear 2-1. Now, as far as the quality of the event and who's to blame and what could be done different to, you know, ensure that future events don't happen this way, I think people are so focused on blaming one side or the other, whether it be like people blaming URL or people blaming the artist. I don't think people realize that both parties are at fault, and here's why. As far as the battlers are concerned, really your main job, beyond promotion, beyond winning the face-off, beyond, you know, how fly you look or whatever, your main objective is to be prepared, rap 3 rounds, and attempt to win your battle. You know, battle rap is a competition. It's like a fight. People don't go into a fight just playing around or thinking they're gonna coast, you know what I'm saying, to the end of the fight. Like that's not how people think, you know what I'm saying? Conor McGregor didn't go into his fight with Floyd Mayweather saying, yeah, I'm gonna lose this fight. I know I'm gonna lose this fight, or I'm just gonna do enough to have a decent performance on my end. I ain't really worried about winning because I'll be able to fight again because I'm Conor McGregor. Like that's not how fighters think, you know what I'm saying? And I don't think battlers should think like that either, because you're only as good as your last battle. That's the famous saying, you know? So when people they pay money, we pay money to see these events on pay-per-view or buy tickets to come see them live because we want to see y'all perform, yes, but we want to see y'all battle. We're paying to see battles. If we wanted to just see y'all perform, we would tell y'all to go on tour, you know what I'm saying, hosting concerts, because then we could just watch y'all perform if that's the case. But the nature of battle rap is you trying to beat the other person. You trying to be better than the other person. You proving to the people watching you that you're better than the other person. And it doesn't seem like that mentality is fully present amongst everybody who was on this card, and not even just on this card, but people in battle rap in general, right? So I think that needs to change. However, Smack, URL, and really any league, but specifically we're talking about Summer Madness. So Smack and URL are the people who control who is on this card in the first place, right? Now, I'm not going to speak on finances because you can't just say you need to pay somebody more and they'll do better, because those two things don't equate. You can pay somebody as much money as you want, but if they don't have the desire to accomplish whatever task you're paying them for, it doesn't really matter. It's not going to get done, or it's not going to get done to the quality that it could be done had they had the desire to do it, right? So it's not about money. It's more so about the opportunities that you give people. When someone, New Jersey Twerk, let's take New Jersey Twerk, for example, because he's, one of the biggest stars right now, and he's under the most spotlight because he's so inconsistent with his performances, right? When you see New Jersey Twerk say earlier this year, I haven't wrote a rhyme for Mr. Wavy, but I'm still gonna beat him. Then he comes out on that card that's in, close to his backyard in terms of where he lives at now. He repped the DMV or whatever. And he blows it. And Mr. Wavy wins. Mr. Wavy wins champion of the night on him. And Mr. Wavy wins the battle. At that point, do you reward him with a battle versus a bigger name and Averb after that? And granted, I figure like that situation was probably already booked before the Twerk and Wavy battle actually happened, but maybe that's something that needs to be revisited. If you're gonna book an artist who's inconsistent, maybe you should wait to book them again. Because I know other people that y'all book, other battlers that y'all book, who you'll book them one time even though they're super consistent. Like maybe somebody like Danger Zone, who, we just saw him destroy our streets. I don't know when I'll see Danger Zone on URL again. And that's just based off the fact that I don't remember the last time Danger Zone was on URL before that. I want to say it was versus Rum Nitty on that Pittsburgh card. I think it was Dead or Alive. But Danger Zone is super consistent. He's always been consistent. And he has fire material. And he's somebody who, he might not be a superstar, but he's going to give you what you pay for, and he's going to give you what you expect out of him. So I don't see how guys like that don't get rewarded, but New Jersey Twerk, because he's a star, is booked for bigger battles after battles when he messes up. It doesn't. It's like rewarding a kid for getting 2 A's and 2 F's on his report card. Like, yeah, you got 2 A's, but you got 2 F's, bro. Like, you gotta tighten up. You gotta tighten that up all the way around before I take you to the mall and get you some shoes as a reward for your report card. You know what I'm saying? And this is just my ideology. I'm not saying anything to try to slander anybody or put down anybody, but I feel like for everybody to win in battle rap, for battle rap to reach new levels, like beyond where it's at right now, I think you have to see more consistent performances. I think you have to set a higher standard for quality on the biggest platform in battle rap. I think you have to. And there are things that could be done on both sides to change that. And I hope that we do get to see those positive changes moving forward. And I'm rooting for everybody to win in this situation, because ultimately I'm a fan of battle rap. So, you know, I hope that all of those situations get straight. Summer Madness 8 is September 29th in London. That's Hollow versus John. I'll have the pay-per-view for that, just because I have to see that battle. And I'm expecting that card to be fire, just like I was expecting this one to be fire. So I'm hoping that the next event meets my expectations more so than this one did. But overall, shout out to URL. I hope they continue doing their thing. I hope they don't look at the quality of this event as too big of a setback, because at the end of the day, they're going to be able to be successful with events in the future as long as they correct certain things. Same thing for the battlers on this card. I hope that they're able to bounce back from choking and stumbling and not being prepared. And I hope that they use this as a wake-up call and get a little bit more serious about what it is that they're doing. Because, you know, at the end of the day, it's hard to talk about what you deserve or getting paid more, or it's hard to negotiate any of that if you're not producing. That's with any job, that's with any field or in any service. You know, if you're not producing, it's hard to justify getting more, you know. Other than that, my name is Ryan Michael, and I'll see y'all next time. Peace.
I've been hungry all my life. Yeah. Starved.